Hi, and welcome to the Cavalier Sports Report. I'm Chris Wright, your host for today's report, and joining us on the program today is the Cavalier men's head soccer coach, Fatai Ayoade. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you on the show today.
Thank you.
You've been the men's soccer coach here at Johnson County Community College for 12 seasons. Actually, you've been with the Johnson County team, is it 20 years?
Yes, sir, for almost 20 years.
Great.
Yes.
And in that time, in those 12 seasons you've been the head coach, you've had numerous successes. You've had 2 Region 6 titles and 3 times the Kansas Jayhawk Conference champion, and 4 times you've been the JCCC Coach of the Year.
Correct.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, thank you. It is, but in speaking of all those, the caliber of players that we're bringing in allow all the other coaches to give me that title, but without those players, it means nothing.
It's a team effort.
Correct.
Great. Well, so far this season, in 2011, your record is 4 wins and 6 losses. So getting off to kind of a slow start this year.
Yes, you're right, and this is because, in 2-year program, the turnover ratio is very, very high. By the time you bring in some freshmen, you telling them what to do, teaching them what to do, teaching them how to play. By the time they understand and they get it, it's time to go. So you have to get out there. You have to get out there and bring in some new freshmen.
So you've got a limited window of the amount of time you can work with them.
Correct.
Yeah, this season you have 8 sophomores and 15 freshmen, and that's got to be quite a challenge for you to bring those freshmen up to the level of college play.
You're absolutely right, because even though we have about 8 sophomores, I can only have 11 on the field at play at one time. Out of that 8, probably 2 or 3 on the field. The rest freshmen. So we're lacking a lot of experience, especially in the middle of the field. If you don't have a solid player that can hold the ball and can distribute, know when to go high, know when to go low, if you don't have that, that brings a lot of ups and downs, and that's what we're facing right now. But the record speaks for itself. Hopefully before the end of the season, they will understand and how to play with each other.
Do you feel like the sophomores with the more experience, do you feel like they're doing as much as they can to bring the freshmen along?
I would say yes, they are trying the best that they can to do that. But at the end of the day, soccer is a team sport. You cannot have a few players, going one direction, another going the other direction. That camaraderie has to be there. And if it's not there, it reflects on your results.
Now, let's talk about the games a little bit. Yeah. Your last game was Monday. Second to last game was this week, actually. Yes, on Monday, you played against Allen County.
Yes.
And you won that game 2-0. How did that go for you?
Well, when you travel to go play, sometimes it takes, few minutes before you get going. First half, it was 0-0. We played well. We had a lot of chances to score, but it didn't happen. Second half, we made some adjustments, and within 5 minutes, we scored a 4th goal, and that changed the momentum. And the pressure was there. We pressing, and we got the 2nd goal. So everybody played well. Thing was gelling, and the pendulum was swinging our way. So it was a good victory for us.
Now, a lot of that sometimes is the goalkeeper's responsibility to make sure that the other team doesn't score. How are you doing in the goalkeeper department?
Well, it's a long story in terms of how we started this year. The goalkeeper we were supposed to bring in is a student here at JUCO. He played with the Sportings Junior, and he transferred to us from William Jew. So I was excited, and the players were excited too. But when it's time to put a signature on the paper, he changed his mind. He said he just wanted to train with the Sportings Junior. So, well, you cannot do that and play college soccer. Mm-hmm. So he decided he's just going to play Then now we have to go to Plan B. Plan B, which is one of our goalkeepers from last year, Zach Piri, and before the season started, he got injured. So, third goalkeeper, he was not going to play this because he knew he was going to be the third goalkeeper. He was just going to go and walk. And I called him. I said, "No, you know what? Can you play?" So I was supposed to be third goalkeeper. Now he's our #1 goalkeeper.
Wow.
So he's working hard. He has a work ethic, but you can see where the experience is lacking. But overall, he has came big for us. His name is Zach Boyle, and he's doing fantastic for us. He's
That's
doing
great.
Well. Yes.
Now, your next game was last night,
Yes.
actually, against Coffeyville.
Coffeyville.
And the game, the resulting score was 6
to 2.
6-2.
Yes, yes.
How did that game go?
We came out flat. I told the boys, I said, you cannot look at opponent results and thinking that, oh, because we beat so person and so person beat them. So you cannot do that. You cannot judge until you play them. And so that's what I tell people. Every team is good until you play them. We came out flat. Before we know it, we were down 2-0. They played, and we came back 2-2. But before the end of the half, we gave up another goal. So that changed the dynamic of the game. So second half, we were down 2-1, 3-2. Momentum just swung more to their way, and we did not play well. We have too many injuries right now. Defensively, Devin, one of our captain, was injured, and he affected the way he was playing. So I had to pull him out. We made a few changes, but overall, it was not our day.
Well, momentum can be a big part of a game.
Yes.
And each game has unique circumstances and challenges that you're faced. What was there anything unique about last night? The challenges for last night's game?
Sophomores with experience didn't click. The cylinder was not firing properly, and one of our sophomores that is working hard. His name is Luis Cadana. This young man is, you can just tell, he wants to win, and he shows on the field how he's working. There are a few other guys there, but it stood out in terms of his work ethic. But overall, injury is a big factor for us right now.
I can imagine.
Yes, hopefully before our next game, which is on Saturday.
Let's talk about your next game on Saturday.
We're going to be playing against Cavalier Community College. Right now, they are #1 in the conference because they've won all their games. But they're beatable. We just have to, go back to the drawing board, make a few adjustments, and see what we need to do. But we have to win to contend in our conference right now because we've lost 3 games.
Well, and that's what practice is for.
Yes, sir.
Practice is to recover and get ready, gear up for the next game.
Correct.
Well, good luck to you. You've got plenty of season left, plenty of games left, and plenty of season. I hope the team hits its stride and comes together like you want it to.
I hope so. I hope before we get to the end of the season and before playoff start, I hope they are firing on all 8, 10, or 15 cylinders.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
well, thanks a lot for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you for having us.
Well, that's your Cavalier Sports Report for today. I'm Chris Wright, your host. We thank you for joining us, and join us again for next week's Cavalier Sports Report.